Today we are gonna see about Glide Record, Glide API, Glide class. Okay, so we will see about Glide Record. So in ServiceNow, Glide Record is a server-side JavaScript API used to interact with database table in platform. So it allows developers to query, insert, update, and delete records from ServiceNow table. Like we can say CURD operation like create, update, edit, delete. So like that. So the Glide record is used to interact with the database tables in platform. So that is the use of Glide record. Okay. So what Glide record is used for? So with Glide record, we can retrieve records from a table in ServiceNow, filter or query a records in ServiceNow, create new records or updating existing records, delete records, and iterate through results. So these are the uses of glide record. So by using the glide records, we can do all these things: retrieve, filter, query, create, delete, update, and iterate through results. Okay. So glide record is heavily used in uh, like we can say majorly using day-to-day purposes. So the developer, if he is using glide record, he will use in these cases like business rule, scripting includes schedule jobs, background scripts, flow designer, UA actions. Next we have fix script, like that. So we are using these glide records heavily in these things in ServiceNow. Okay. So next, basic glide record syntax. Actually, the glide record syntax is where we will define a variable, like we have defined a variable as gr. Okay, and we are putting new. So on glide record, here inside glide record we will put the table name from which table we need to get query the records. We need to interact the records. Like for example, if you need to interact with the task table, then inside glide record you need to mention that task table name here. If you need to interact to update or delete or create a records in incident table, here you will mention as incident table. For example, if you have any custom table like fallback plan, you have a table name called as a fallback plan custom table. If you need to interact with the table in ServiceNow platform to update or delete to query those records, so here inside glide record you will mention that custom table, which is a fallback table, which I said custom table. Okay, so this is the syntax. And gr.query. So gr.query, what does it run? So it runs the database query. Here you will mention the table, like glide record table name means it needs to interact with the incident table. Below that you will mention add encoded query here. So I will explain later. So query means it runs the database query. Okay, so next we have mentioned a while. We have mentioned a while where gr.next. Next means it moves through returned records one at a time. For example, once the conditions got satisfied in encoded query or add query, then it needs to move next, right? So at the time we are using geo.next, which moves through return records one at a time. Okay. So another thing we have gr.number. So gr.number means there is a number field called a number. So we are getting that number field value. Uh, we are printing and getting that number field value, and we are printing in by using gs.info. Okay, so I will I will explain one example. Okay, so let's take where I am defining a variable a dot new glide record, and let me take incident table, or we can take task table. Okay, sc task dot list. So I have taken a task table, catalog task table, where we have only one record. Okay, so let's take task table sc dot task task. Okay, next here dot a dot add encoded query. Okay, so inside this I will put filter, means from this table which records which filter query I need to call. Okay, I will put the query here, matching. So this is my query. Let's take number is equal to task 0 zone. I'm putting the query here. Next add sorry, a dot query. So as said before, query is used means it is used to runs the database query. Okay, so here I have defined, right, so it defines it helps to runs the database query. Okay, so next let me take if a dot next. So as said before, you can dot next means it moves to the next record in the glide record. If the query got satisfied after interacting with the table, then it needs to move, right? So that step is called dot next. Okay, so I have defined, and next we have let's take let me call one field, like let me take state. Okay, gs dot print. I need to print state value of that record. Okay, state state. So here I am interacting with the SC task table, and I have put the filter which I gave the query, and the a dot query, so which is used which is used to run the database query. Okay, this query, and a dot next means moves through the returned records one at a time. Once it queries, it got satisfied, it go here, and it will print state value of the this record. Okay, so just running the script. Here you can see it's showing 1, means here the state value, the state is open, means if you take state, the backend value of the open is 1. Let me show you. See, the backend value of the open is 1, so that's the reason it's showing 1 here. So if I put number to display the number of the record, if I run the script, it shows the number of the record, which is that the task record number. Okay, so this is the basic syntax of glide record. Like we need to interact, querying, and next it's check, and next, and we are printing. So this is the basic syntax of glide record thing. Okay, so next, common glide record operations. So we have common glide record operations, like as said in introduction, we have query, insert, update, delete records. Okay, so like that we have common glide record operations. We will see one by one. Okay, so next we have query records. So it fetches this is the syntax to fetch all priority one incidents. Means I I have an incident table where I need to fetch all priority one incidents short description. Okay, so let's take incident table for explanation. Incidents. Okay, okay. I was taking active as true, and what condition we have? Priority is 1. Okay, and priority is one, which is critical. Okay, so we have active incidents and priority one. Okay, critical. So we have 17 incidents in our PDI. Okay, so we need to get the short description of all these 17 incidents. Okay, so let's see. So this is the syntax. So we will see how we can get. Okay, so I'm taking glide record incident. So I need to interact with incident table, and here we need to put the query. So I was just putting the query. Okay, so we if you need to interact and query only one incident, so you will put if, right? So if it is multiple, then we need to put for or while. Okay, so the while is very easy so to use, so we will put a while. Okay, so while, and we need to we need to print short description of each instance. Okay, so here I will put gs dot print the short description of the incident. Sorry, of the, I will put here a dot number plus is, let me take the backend value. I think short underscore description, right? Let's see. Yeah, short underscore description. So is plus a dot short underscore description. Okay. So this is the query. This is the script where I am fetching active true priority one records. Active true priority one records we have 17, and we are querying we are querying those records, and we are printing the short description of the incidents. Okay, so this is the script. So I just running. See, you can see we have total 17, where we have 17 incidents here. So the number is correct. You can see the short description of is employee payroll application server. Let me put a space here. See, let me take one random one. So 7001, 7001, 7001, 7. See, wait, let me check. Sorry, 7001. Okay, it's not showing. 7001. I think, yeah. If you check 7001, the short description is employee payroll application server is down. So you can see here, employee payroll application server is down. So if you cross check another one, 0055, 0055, we have 0055, 0055. See, the short description of 0055 is SAP sales app is not accessible. See, SAP sales app is not accessible. So it's we have successfully printed all short description of 17 incidents, which is priority high, critical, sorry, priority critical. Okay, so this is the method how to query records by using the glide record. Okay, so next we have get a single record. So for example, we have for example, let me show you. So here we have 40 incidents. Okay, but I need to get only one incident data. So for that, we can use two methods. So this is the method. One is glide record, and here we will put get. So like this, Another we have is we can use query, add an encoded query or add query. Okay, so I will use this syntax so that you will understand better. Okay, so here the get retrieves one record by sysid. So here we will put the sysid. By using that sysid, it will fetch that record from incident table and it will print the value of the number field. Okay, so I will put here, let me paste here, if get. Okay, so I was taking this record. Okay, 9005. So I was just copying the sysid and I was just pasting here. Okay, so here I need to get what we can get. So okay, I need to get the short description of this record. Only one record from this record. Okay, so I will put a dot short description. Okay, means I was just interacting with incident table and I was just getting only one record, single record, which is 9005, and I was going to print that short description of 9005. The short description is email server is down. Okay, let me try. See, I was just interacting with incident table and by using the get method, I was just getting only one record by using sysid and printing the short description of that incident record. So this is the syntax of get a single record. So which by using the get we can retrieve one single record by sysid of that record. Okay. So next we have insert a record. So before we have seen how to query, how to get. Now we will see insert a record. Okay. So this is a syntax where first we are just interacting with incident table and we are putting initialize. So initialize means it will if you mention initialize first it will create a new blank record. After that it loads default value from the table and it prepares we are going to insert, right, and it prepares the record for insertion, means the creation. So the without mentioning this initialize line script, so the record may not properly get create or not get properly apply default values. Okay, so if you are creating any record in ServiceNow by using the script, you must and should mention initialize line. Okay, so here second line is initialize means I need to create a record, so I was just mentioning initialize. And in new record which I was going to create an incident table, in new record I need to put short description as test incident and a description as created using script. After this, I was just mentioning the values of the fields, what needs to enter while creating the record. I will just mention insert. Means initialize means it will it needs to start. So before starting, we will put initialize. So once we have gave the values sorry, which needs to update in new field, we will give the values. After that finally we will give insert means we have initialized and we have gave the values but it needs to save. Okay, so for that we will put insert. So once we put insert, the new record which has initialized, it will get saved. Initialize, update the values, save, means insert which is save. Okay, this is the process where we will use insert a record in a glide record. Okay, I will show you a sample. Okay, so let me take it. So let it be var a. Okay, so here I need to initialize. I need to put initialize. Okay, initialize. So here you can see creates an empty record suitable for population before an insert. Okay, so initialize means you are just initializing the method so that it's create an empty record suitable for population before an insertion. Okay, initialize. So now I need to give the values. What values needs to be updated in new record, which I am going to create by using the script. Okay, so I was just putting short description as test record. Okay, so next I will put what we can put. Okay, okay, let me put urgency as medium. Okay, a dot urgency medium. So next I will put state as, so actually if we open the record it will show as new, so we will put state as in progress. A dot state in progress, the backend value of these are backend values. Okay, so we have gave initialized, we have gave the values, and we need to put insert, means it needs to save, right? See, insert a new record using the field using has been set for the current record. So we need to insert once saved, and it needs to insert in the incident table. So that's the reason we need to put a dot insert here. So initialize, we have defined the field values, and we are going to insert. Okay, let's see. Okay, okay. Okay, let's see in table created today. Okay, the record has been created. So this is the record which we have created. See, we gave short description as test record. Urgency, urgency is medium, which is 2. Okay, so state we gave backend value as 2, which is in progress. Yeah, you understood, right? So by using this we can insert a record. So first you need to interact with the table. Another next we need to initialize the step, and we need to give the values which we need to get updated in new record, and finally we need to put a dot insert. It is used to insert the record after unsaving. Okay, so this is the steps to create a new record by using this. Okay, so next we have updated record. For example, if you have existing records, okay, and you need to update some values. So for that, how we can do? So let's see. Okay, so this is the syntax here. Glide record incident. You are just interacting incident table, and you are here. You are just taking only one record, and you are updating the state value. Before you saw it insert, means for creating or inserting a record you are put insert, but updating a record of existing record you will put dot update. Okay, so what update does? So fetches an incident record, changes the value, and saves the modified record into the table. Okay, so dot update means insert is used only for creation, and update is used only for existing records. Okay, so it triggers for business rule, workflows, etc. Okay, so let's see one sample. So I was just taking, okay, dot get, I was just taking this SID. Okay, here next, sorry, a dot. Okay, so I have short description as test record. Okay, so I will put short description as updated the record. Okay, so I have updating the record. So I said before, you are just mentioning the value which we need to update, and you need to put dot update. Okay, and I will update update state as new. Okay, a dot state backend value of new is 1 and a dot update. Let's see how it runs. So let's check here. Yeah, it's updated. See, I have given short description as updated the record and state as 1. Okay, updated the record and state is new, which is 1. So it's updated means it worked. So this is the syntax how we can update a record um, in Glide by using GlideRecord. Okay, so if you need to update multiple records, at that time you can put you just query like a dot add encoded query and take. So here let's take true. So I have 41 true incidents. Okay, I just taking these and query and putting here. So here I will query again, query, query method. So I just call the query method and here I will mention a dot next, sorry, next method while. So we have 41 multiple records we need to update, right? So if it is a single record, we will put if, but we are going to update more than one. So we need to put while. So I gave while and let's update short description. Okay, right now we have different kind of short descriptions. Okay, I will just updated by using scripts. Okay, so finally we will put update. Okay, so let's see how it works. It's running. Mm, everything got updated, I think so. Let's refresh the table. See, everything got updated. All 41 records got updated. See, so this is the way how we can update multiple records. Okay, so before we saw a single record, so this is multiple records. Okay, so let's see next delete a record. So if you need to delete a record, so this is the syntax, and if you need to delete multiple records, we will see. Okay, so first line we are just interacting with incident table, and second geo.get. So we are fetching only that specific record, and geo.delete record. So delete record means it deletes that record from the table permanently from the table. Okay, so let's delete a single record. Okay, so where a is equal to new glide record. I'm taking incident. I was just taking incident table, so just interacting. Okay, next if a dot, sorry, a dot get. So I will put NSS ID. So I okay. I'm gonna delete this record. Okay, let's take this. So I need to delete 001 record. So I just taking the sys going there, paste. As said before, to delete a record, we will mention a dot delete record. Okay. So see, you just interacting with incident table, we are getting that particular incident sys particular incident record by using sys and get, and we are going to delete that. Okay, just run the script. So let's refresh. See. It got deleted. Before it was there, it got deleted. So this is the syntax how to delete a single record. If you need to delete multiple records, okay, let's check a dot add encoded query. If you need to delete which is active false, so we have 27 active false. Okay, okay, let's take created last month. Oh, okay. So let's take created January. So let's take created on January. Created on between Jan 31st. So I was taking the January records, which is active false. We have 15 records, which was created on January and which is false. Okay, I need to delete all these 15 records from incident table. Okay, so I just taking the query and giving here in query. Okay, so next a dot query function. Okay, so next we need to delete multiple means while. Okay, while a dot next next. Okay, so this is the syntax to delete multiple records from an from an table in ServiceNow. So just running the thing. Oh, oh, okay, okay. Here I gave a comma. So sorry, unders quote, double quote. Okay, now run. Okay, I think it got executed. See, before running the script, we have 15 records. So let's refresh. See, everything got deleted. So this is the syntax how we can create multiple records. Okay. Next we have next we have I think that's it. Yeah. So in next section we will see about glide record methods, or we can say glide record APIs. Yeah.